مرحبا. اسمي عايدة فرحة. أنا تخرجت من ال AUB School of Pharmacy بال 1975 وقتها علقة الحرب بلبنان. And I was waiting to find some work. Then my cousin was working by Jafet Library. She told me there's a vacancy at the Saab Medical Library. I thought to myself, wow, what am I going to do there? I'm a pharmacist. My only experience in the library was that as students, we used to go into the library, talk, laugh, make noise, and get kicked out. This was a daily routine that we used to do. So what am I going to do as a pharmacist in a medical library? And then because of the war and the security situation, I thought it would be a good choice, better than nothing. So I came and joined Saab Medical Library on a temporary basis in 1978. And when I got exposed to the work and to the things that the library offers and the librarians do, I was really shocked and surprised. And I thought to myself, there's a treasure of information at the fingertips of librarians. Why didn't I know that during my 4 years of pharmacy studying at the AUB? Nobody told us what's a library and what things are available and what librarians do. So I decided that I should get to know this stuff very well and to be able to apply it in my work. And this is what has happened. And I remember there was the war, and it was not an easy time for us to work or to learn things. I remember sometimes we used to come to work and spend 1 hour or 2 hours or maximum 3 hours, and the shelling will start, and we had all to go to our houses for security issues. The library had 14 staff at that time, but those that resumed work during war, we were only 4. And it was a really unique experience working under shelling. And when the library started automation, I remember we used to work, myself, Hilda Nassar, and Sami Ortas. And we used to sit in a room that has maximum shelter. Bullets were going all over our place. And I was the first one to leave and go home because my mother was very scared about me, and my housewife was 5 minutes walk from AUB, but during the shelling it used to take 30 minutes sometimes because I had to find some shelter in the buildings when the shelling was very severe. And I remember at one time when I was going home through Abdel Aziz. It was very empty street, no shops, all the shops were closed, no one walking except myself. And it was like a desert. So I was walking up and not feeling very comfortable with this situation. And then I spotted somebody walking behind me. I was a bit scared, but I said, it's okay. Then in a few seconds, I heard him speaking to himself. I said, wow. Now I got very, very, very scared at that time. I thought he was crazy, talking to himself. So what shall I do? I'm alone on the street with him. And then I said to myself, I should face him. He was behind me. So I turned to look at him. And to my surprise, I spotted that he was talking on a mobile phone. At that time, mobile phones were not very common. Maybe it was the first person in Beirut that I see had a phone, and then I went home. I never forget this day. This is how we did automation during the war in the early 1980s. It was the first Akid library in Lebanon and one of the first in the Middle East. We started this automation during war, and we went through the stages of automation from the very basic up to the most advanced. And it was really something to achieve during war. During work, I had many challenges. As a medical librarian, realizing the value of what medical librarians do in saving patients' lives, saving physicians' time and healthcare cost, I decided to learn everything that goes with the work of medical librarian. So I started with the traditional work where there were no computers at that period. And after a few years, I thought I have learned everything that there is in medical librarian, so I will start working with what I have learned. And then after a few years, something new happened. There was the introduction of email and computers, so I had to learn these things. Then after that, few years again, there was Medline and PubMed. I had to learn these things also, and then came evidence-based medicine, and then came systematic reviews. So every few years, there was something new that I had to learn or master so as to be able to do my work in a better way. And there are few moments that I will never forget in my life. I remember at one time I was asked to do a workshop for physicians in Syria. There was an international conference there, and I was asked to do a one-day workshop there for physicians. So I went there, gave the workshop, and then after 8 months, I received a phone call from a doctor from Syria. He was telling me that he had attended my workshop, and he told me the story that has happened. He said that he received an ad that somebody is coming to give a workshop one day on PubMed and evidence-based medicine. And he thought to himself that he knows how to search these, so he's not going to close his clinic for one day to come and attend the workshop. But then he looked at the ad down. It said that somebody from AUB was giving the workshop. So he thought that no, AUB is not to be missed. So he closed his clinic and he came and attended the workshop that I gave. And then he realized that he didn't know anything, because this is a very common misconception. Users think that they know how to look for information, but in reality they don't know the scientific way to do it. Anyway, he continued his explanation what has happened. He said that after a few months, he got sick with a disease, not his specialty. He went to a specialist to treat his disease, and that specialist, he couldn't treat his disease. It was something very rare and very serious. And so he remembered the way that I taught him how to look for reliable information from the internet. He looked for the information himself, and the information saved his life, and he was calling to say, "Thank you, you saved my life." It was a moment that I will never forget, very rewarding for me, and actually because I never thought that physicians can be patients themselves. I used to be enthusiastic in teaching physicians how to look for information because I was always thinking about patients, myself, my family, my friends, but I never thought a physician can be a patient himself. Another thing that I remember is that once we wanted to introduce a course on how to look for reliable medical information at AUB, there were many talks, and then one of the medical education physicians refused to give this course. I remember she said that she was worried. What would US say about our medical students? They don't know how to locate resources. So the course was not given to medical students, which was very bad in my opinion. But we gave the course for the graduates of the medical school, and we've been giving it for over 30 years now, and it's very useful. Something that I really treasure is what's called the evidence updates. Evidence updates, it's an email alert about evidence-based medicine information for physicians that have clinical significance. And this was a wow service that I used to tell physicians whenever I gave information literacy sessions. And then later I will ask the physicians, did you go and register there? I always receive, no, we didn't have time, we forgot how to do it, and many such excuses. And then I decided that I'm going to force them to use it because I thought it was a very good resource. So I just simplified the registration form and I put it on our webpage. And I'm happy now that we have done thousands of registration for doctors in this very important services. What AUB means to me, I studied 4 years pharmacy at AUB. I really enjoyed it and I got to know many people, which I still know up to now. And then when I started work at the library, I thought it would be for a temporary basis. But then when I realized the amount of information and the treasure and the importance of medical librarians, then I stayed for almost 40 years there. I also treasure AUB for opening my eyes about health and health information. Even though I was a pharmacist, but I never knew the value of health information. And pharmacists or physicians or nurses, they are worth nothing if they don't have the information. And this is what I have been trying all these 40 years to do, is to provide information to these people so that they can give us better patient care. And I think I did something in that. At least I proved to the physicians or to some of the physicians that I came into contact with that information is important and medical librarian's job is very important, not to be missed for any reason, because you never know whose life will be at stake at that point. Something very funny happened the second day of my work at AUB. You know, the first day I was new to the library. I didn't know anything about library. So I was told about the different departments in the library: circulation, acquisition, serials, cataloging, reference. All of these are very new terms to me. On the second day, I was alone at the circulation desk, and a British woman approached me and she asked me about the restroom. Frankly, I didn't know what did she mean by the restroom at that time. So I looked at her for a few minutes, and in my mind, I went over all the different departments that I was introduced to the previous day. But there was nothing. I told to myself, restroom. And she was looking at me like this, and she was surprised why I'm not answering. After 2 minutes, I told her, I'm sorry, I don't think there's a restroom here, but you can rest here. We have many chairs available and tables. And she laughed, of course, and she told me I want the toilet. So I told her, where's the toilet? And I went directly inside the library offices to my boss and her assistant. And I told them what has happened. I told them, I'm sorry, you have hired somebody at the reference for information, and I couldn't help this British lady. Though I made her laugh, but I couldn't help her from the first time. So Hilda, who was the assistant to the medical librarian at that time, she told me, Aida, there is restroom, there is powder my nose, there is loo, she named 10 different synonyms for the WC. I said, okay. After 10 years, I was again on the desk, and there was a black guy that has helped me find a bed mattress for my father. And he was piling journals, bound journals, each one around 2-3 kilos on the desk. He was not AUB, and I wanted to repay his good gesture to me. So I went to him and I said, can I help you? He said in a low voice, because we're in the library, he said, I'm looking for the loo. I didn't understand. I said, what is it? He said, I'm looking for the loo. A third time I asked, what is it? He said, I'm not hearing, and it's the library. He cannot raise his voice. And I'm not hearing the final word. I'm not understanding. So I thought to myself, okay, Aida, if I change the question, maybe I will understand that I thought he wanted to get a carriage to carry the journals to photocopy. So I said, what for do you need it? And I remember his face, his eyes bulged out of his face, his teeth very white, and he said, I want to throw some water out. And then I remembered Hilda Nassar telling me that loo is the toilet. And I told him, where's the loo? And again, I went directly to the office of my bosses and I told them that, khalas, I'm not being good at the information. This is what has happened. And I told them the third person will ask me anything at the desk that I don't know where, I'll simply direct them to the toilet. ومثل ما بتعرفوا أنا I always start with the ABC of searching, which is the Boolean operators. So بلشنا عم بعطيهم عن Boolean operators وكفينا. كان في break in between the sessions. بالبريك عم بسألهم، كان في حكيم قاعد عم بسأله شو رأيك the way I teach، لأنه أنا الناس بتقول لي إنه you transmit the message مزبوطة. Anyway, قال لي عايدة it's good, but why do you teach us Boolean? We are all Boolean generation. We all know Boolean operators. يعني قلت له ما بعرف، يمكن أنت بتعرف Boolean، بس أنا my experience in the library, I see physicians, they don't know how to search Boolean, and it's very important if you want to do good search to get the information you need. And then the session continued. I was explaining another database اسمه Cochrane. حطيت لهم search strategy فيها Boolean وسألت الصف, is this a correct Boolean statement? Nobody answered. I looked at this physician that was arguing with me, why do you teach us Boolean? I said, you Boolean guy, is this correct? He looked at me and he hit on the table like this and he said, I'm not Boolean, I'm Heb Boolean. And it was really funny how he said it. It was unexpected and the whole class was laughing and myself too. But it's something that I have seen all over the years in my teaching, even though they don't spell it, but I could see it in all the physicians that come and attend the sessions that we provide as medical librarians. At one time, I was asked by Dr. Elia to be part of their Spark initiative at AUB, and of course I said yes. And he told me that there's a conference that they are going to hold and they're getting somebody from UK and Canada to give the conference. So I said, okay, I would love to come and attend because it's something relatively new to me about systematic reviews. And he said, yes, okay, please do come. So I went. I was supposed to go there. I received a phone call from Dr. Ael at night. I missed the call. So early in the morning, next morning, I called him to see what's the issue. And he said, Aida, please, we need you to come and give the workshop because the doctor who was supposed to give it does not want to give it. And I said, it's something relatively new to me, so I won't be able to give it just like this, mortajali, without preparing it. And there were many people attending from AUB and non-AUB, big shots. But then he said, please, Aida, save us, and all this stuff. I said, okay, I will do it. The session was around 11 a.m. I was supposed to give this talk. So I came to my office at 8:30 and I said, okay, I will prepare something, some PowerPoint and something for the conference. I went to my computer. It was not working at that day. The only day it was not working. And I was like crazy. So I left my office. I went directly to the secretary. Yalla, yalla, go. I need your computer to work on it. She was surprised and she didn't know what's happening, what was happening. And then later I explained to her. So I stayed on her computer. I did some PowerPoint and I went and gave that workshop and it was really very well received. And from that time on, Dr. Elia told me, we want you every time to give the systematic review workshop, and this was what has happened. And they really appreciated it that I could save their face from this issue. And the one that was going to give the workshop, she was very pleased, and she told me that she learned so many things because she was not a librarian. She was a physician trying to give information literacy, and this is something that all physicians cannot do the teaching like medical librarians. It's our job. We do it better than physicians, no matter how much they know about it. Many other things happened, but what I always wanted to do is that because I knew the treasure of information and the value in saving lives, I always wanted to go to the medical dean and to ask the medical dean not to allow any physician to graduate from this university without prior passing an exam of information retrieval skills from me. But I have never done it. I hope who comes after me will do it one day and it will be effective. No physician should graduate without knowing how to look for information, specifically evidence-based medicine information. I really enjoyed my work. These 40 years I was so happy to work in the library. Even at the beginning, I had my friends and colleagues from pharmacy school were mocking and laughing at me. Aida, what are you doing in a medical library? You should go and work in a pharmacy. I tried to explain to them the value of my work, but they didn't understand it. And I hope that more people will know the value of medical librarians and librarians in general also, because information is power, and when we talk about medical information, it's health of the people. Thank you.